Hey there everyone, Kurtzing here with a Master League video. I never did manage to find a team that I liked enough to make a video on with my Salamence, but I was really liking my Florges, and I actually started playing with, what is that, Golisopod, and um, I actually really liked it, and so then I was like, okay, well, I kept losing, like having a hard time in the back and stuff like that, so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to try Goldango with the new Astonish buff, see how it does, and go from there. And you know what? I was on a 0-3 set when I put this together, and I won two. So I was like, okay, maybe it's something here. And so I started another set, and I went 4-1. So in total, I went 6-1. No, yeah, 6-1. And it was a lot of fun. So I figured I'd make a video on it and kind of go through the moves here. And so I've got Golisopod with Shadowclaw, Aerial Ace, Liquidation. Florges has Fairy Wind, Petal Blizzard, Disarming Voice, and Goldango has Astonish, Shadow Ball, and Focus Blast. All three of them are 4 stars, and I think my Goldango can get powered up a little bit more. The other two are maxed. I believe I should check that to make sure. Um, so Golisopod actually works really well against, I checked in PvPoke, and it wins against Dragonite and a lot of the different types. I was really having an issue with Metagross. It beats Metagross. It can beat Rhyperior. You do have to not fall for too many baits and or correctly shield the Rock Wrecker, because that will pretty much one-shot you. So here I've got a Swampert into the Florges, and this is ideal if I can land the Petal Blizzard. But I'm like, okay, they're probably going to be running Sludge Wave. No reason that they wouldn't be. Hydro Cannon would be effective against steals and grounds and stuff like that. You don't really need to run the Earthquake. In my opinion, like, I mean, a Dialga Earthquake would be better, but how many Dialgas are people seeing right now? Oh, you can't in the Premier, so there you go. Sludge Wave helps with all those fairies. So I'm going to go for a Disarming Voice instead of the Petal Blizzard, anticipating they're going to shield. They do. So now I got both shields, and I bank my Disarming Voice and switch right away into Goldango to farm down the Metagross. And then Swampert comes back in, and I've got a Shadow Ball, so that's going to take care of the Swampert as well. Or not quite, sorry. One Astonish though. So you see that chunk, like it takes a lot. Or it does a lot of damage. So Florges into Primarina, and this is a fairly good matchup for Florges. Hydro Cannon is not going to take me out, so I can afford to let one go here. Petal Blizzard will also not quite take out. I do end up deciding to shield in case it was a Moonblast. I don't play Master League a lot, so I am trying to learn the counts. But I don't really know a lot of the counts. I find start to learn counts based on when I play them, right? So like Rhyperior and stuff like that, I think it's 4 to Breaking Swipe, 5 to Rock Wrecker. The tricky thing is if they go to 6 or 7, okay, well, which one are they throwing, right? Are they going to bait you, or are they going Rock Wrecker? I have found a lot of people will go up like that, and then they'll throw a Breaking Swipe, and then do 1 or 2 more Mud Slaps, and then throw the Rock Wrecker, because you don't really want to shield twice, so they bait and then throw the harder move. So here I'm going to go for an Aerial Ace, and this should take out, or just about. Let's see here, yeah, it takes out. So they still have a shield, we're even shields, and they've got an Avalugg in the back. I feel like I'll be able to make this liquidation. So now they got to make a choice. Do they go down their last shield, or let me do a lot of damage? They decided to block. So I was like, okay, well, that works well. And I was like, what moves do they have? I know that they've got Avalanche, but what else do they have? So I bring in Goldango, and I opted not to shield. Turns out just to be an Icy Wind. So I'm happy with that, because not only now did I get a little bit of energy, but I was able to switch into my Florges with them having that Chestnut in the back, and so that'll get rid of the debuff from the Icy Wind. They have no shields, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to let this go, because now I can farm down, and I can use my shield on this if they get to a move, because I was like, well, superpower, frenzy plant, I don't want to risk getting taken out, and I want to make the focus blast. So I do shield up the frenzy plant. Now I'm gonna go for the focus blast. This should take out focus blast. Hits pretty hard. Let's see here. Just boom, gone Avalog. So that was the 2 sets to begin with, and so I've fallen down to 2180 there, as you can see. I think after this set, I'm back up into the 2200s. So lead Dragonite there, good solid lead for myself. Gyarados comes in. I decided to stay. I kind of played around a little bit with how to play this differently, learning how to play it well. And this particular match, I go Petal Blizzard first, does a good chunk of damage, and then I switch into Gliscopod. So they're still switch locked, and I've done some damage with the Petal Blizzard. And now I'm gonna just take a move. I'm gonna probably crunch. We'll see. It doesn't do that much. So I've got 2 moves here, and at this point I'm like, you know what? If I can farm down, I'm gonna have a lot of energy. So I've got 2 full moves. Dragonite comes back in, and I'm gonna go for the Aerial Ace here. It's not super effective. Almost at a 3rd Aerial Ace. I like another back-to-back. So whether it's a good move or a bad move, or it's not really doing a lot of damage, it's going to start to threaten their health. They're like, okay, I've already taken out the Gyarados, and now I've got their Dragonite deep into the, well, it was yellow, but now it's into the red. So here, it's like, okay, I will bring in Florges, and they opted to go into Metagross right away. I figured they'd throw, at least. I guess they were banking on trying to bait me into, like, they'd snipe me with the Metagross, or maybe I wouldn't have an answer for Metagross or something. So again, I do shield up on the off chance it was an Earthquake. I think, just off the top of my head, I think Earthquake's like 7 or something like that. I just didn't want to risk it. I had 2 shields still, and they gave up there, so they knew the game was over. Good matchup here. I think this is the 1 loss. I saw Venusaur, and I was like, okay, not 100% sure what I want to switch into here. I know that the Disarming Voice is going to be resisted because of the poison typing, and if there you have Sludge Bomb, it's going to be super effective. But I was like, I'm just going to go for the Disarming Voice here. Just do as much chip as I can. Kind of, my thought was that I'm going to try to kind of soft lose this so that I can keep switch, because I was like, Gliscopod is a good answer with its move typing, and Aerial Ace and stuff would do super well. And I want to believe that Astonish would actually chunk enough that it would probably take it out fairly quickly. I just didn't want to get locked in. I was like, if they're leading Venusaur, what do they have in the back here? And what am I going to be weak to? And then I was like, they shield as well. Like, okay, well, maybe they're weak to Gliscopod, so maybe that'll be a good thing. So I shield back with the Frenzy to keep some health. And again here, I'm like, okay, you know what? A Frenzy is not going to take me out. I'm going to just let the move go through, and I'll farm down and come out with a bunch of energy. So we're even shields, even Pokemon, and what do they have in the back finally? Like, that Venusaur did a lot of work. So now they've got a Metagross in the back. So it's like, oh great. So they're going to have Rhyperior in the back, and I'm going to switch into my Goldango, and then, yeah, sure enough, Rhyperior. I think this is the one that I lose. So I was like, this is awesome now. And I was like, I have to let this go. It's just a Breaking Swipe. But I have to let it go because I need a shield for the Metagross, because they're gonna be to a move, right? So I go for Focus Blast. Looking at it, I should have just gone Shadow Ball there. Oh, I didn't have enough. I wouldn't have got two moves anyways. But unfortunately, they had so much energy that I had to put up a shield here as well, because they farmed me all the way down there. And then I managed to throw here. Trying to think of what happened. So I take them out, but then Metagross is too healthy and has a move. So I used my shield, and that was that. So good game. Well played to my opponent there. Um, like say the Venusaur, I was like, I haven't seen a Venusaur at all, so not sure how to play with that. Goodra in the lead, good matchup for myself. So here I play this a little different. I'm like, okay, well I just lost by staying in and giving up health on my Florges, so I'm going to switch sooner into my Golisopod. And I know that Golisopod can put in some work here against Gyarados. I'm already at almost 2 air releases again, and they have thrown a crunch. I get a shield. I was like, okay, well that's a positive sign. And so you're gonna go for another air release here. And they let that one go through, so I was like, oh, rats. But getting close to the same energy here and or health, so I was like, I think I shield this. Yeah, I do decide to shield. And I was like, I should have shielded the first one, the crunch, and then let the Aqua Tail go through, but really thinking about it, I probably would have shielded the crunch, got a debuff, and then they would have gone for another crunch anyways, which would have done even more damage. So unfortunately, they're able to farm me down, but I do leave with a shield advantage. So here I was like, I'm going to bring Florges back in. I know that they have Dragonite in the back, and I can take some moves here from Gyarados, and I can just farm up and have a bunch of energy. And then I started thinking, the problem with this is they know that I have this, and I know that they have Dragonite. So if I just keep taking moves, then I won't have anything to answer to Dragonite, and what's going to be in the back? But it's like, well, I do have a Goldango, and they don't have shields, and then this happened. So not Dragonite, sorry, I've been saying Dragonite, it was Goodra they had. So now I'm like, okay, great, now I just gave up. Metagross is going to destroy Florges, and now I've got my Goldango locked in, and that's why, like, winning Switch quite often is very, very important. But I was like, you know what, I can still probably win this because I can shield this now. Those Astonishes like start just chunking through. And so I was like, if I shield this, I should be able to farm this thing down and I'll leave with the Shadow Ball. So I'll be able to fire the Shadow Ball right away here. They don't have enough energy. Does this take out though? Does not quite take out. But I had saved a Disarming Voice on my Florges. So I was combo play, switch right away, throw the Disarming Voice, and we'll just say Florges beats Metagross now. That's all we'll say. Florges into Garchomp. I actually have a Garchomp, a Shundo Garchomp, but it's been in a gym down the road, like we're rural area. It's been in a gym for like 50 days, so I haven't been able to play with it. I'm like, I think it would be pretty strong, and I'd like to try it. And it's just been sitting in the gym, so unfortunate there. I don't play with it in Open Master, so I don't even know if I'm the one that tossed it in there. But anyways, Disarming Voice going through here. Likely gonna let this through. I've pretty much taken them out anyways. So at this point here, they've got the Metagross, and I was like, I want to save the move, so I'm gonna give up the switch advantage, lock myself in, and see what they have in the back. So this actually worked out really, really well for me because Golisopod is either going to be able to threaten the shields or take out Gyarados, and then we know that they've got a Metagross in the back, which Goldango can handle. So I don't need to use any shields. Maybe I can give up one shield, but my goal here is I want to get their last shield so that, again, I can take out the Metagross with Goldango. So I do manage to get both shields. Throw another air release here. So this is going to start to do some fairly decent damage, and I've got both shields. And I do think that I have a Disarming Voice on Florges. Not quite able to farm down there. So I come in with Florges, and I made a mistake there. I tapped and did a Fairy Wind instead of just tapping, because I didn't remember at the time if I had enough energy to go for the Disarming Voice. I should have just tapped right away on the Disarming Voice. and I think that it would have gone through. I'm not 100% sure. But either way, I still have a shield, and even if they bait me, I feel like I can shield up, and I would reach the Shadow Ball before they would get to an Earthquake or another Meteor Mash. But I was like, you know what? They threw way too fast there. I'm just going to let it go through. And it turned out it was, in fact, just the Meteor Mash. So I actually won with a shield still. So another good game there. So Florges into Gyarados. And it's got Dragon Breath, so that's even better for me. So I think that it's fairly decent just to stay in here. No real need to switch. I can do more damage to them throwing even Disarming Voices, I believe. I always like to go for the Petal Blizzard first, though, because most of the time people are not really going to expect it. And so then it does 3/4 of the health, right? So then, bam, I'm at a good advantage now. They're going to want to shield. So I'm going to let this next Aqua Tail go through. Going for Disarming Voice. This should take out or get a shield. And I'm more or less okay with whichever one. They're like, okay, we're going to let it go. And so here, it's a little bit challenging because I don't want to switch out right away. Like, I don't want to give up the switch, right? Because they can switch out. So I couldn't quite reach a Petal Blizzard. And I was like, as I was trying to get to it, I was like, they know that I have it. I should just throw a Disarming Voice and they'll probably shield. So I ended up, I'm lucky I win this one, actually. Very lucky. Because I shield up this first Rock Slide. Because Rock Slide is super effective. And I go for a Liquidation here, but now they've still got 2 shields. I'm down to 1. And if I can't get this thing down with my Gliscopod, Gholdengo's not going to do anything about it, right? Like, Drill Run's probably going to take out maybe a little bit, maybe a couple Mud Slaps or whatever. So I tried to catch a Rock Slide and failed miserably. So I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to take the Drill Run now. And then I was like, oh no, they've got a Mamoswine in the back. Why did I do that? I could have won this game so easily. I was like, I think I can reach the Focus Blast here. I think I can reach it. So then I was like, I can get more than that. So I'm going to overfarm and throw the Shadow Ball, because Shadow Ball should take out. And then see if I can reach the Shadow Ball against that. And I wasn't able to. But look at how much damage that Astonish did. We gotta move. Game's over. Rock Slide's gonna take me out. Super effective. It actually did less than I thought that it did, or remember thinking that it did. So anyways, close game. Misplay on my part. Horrible catching. Like I said, tried to catch. Anyways, I hope that there was a fellow watcher or a viewer that had asked if I did any Master League. I did finally find a team that's fun, and I got some wins, so I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next video, and good luck out there battling.